Well, that is right, my friends. You are listening here to the home of conservative, not bitter talk. And yes, I am your host, Todd Huff. You can email me your thoughts, questions, feedback. You know what? I'll even accept adoration and praise. It is good to be here this morning. Thank you for tuning in. I didn't even mention yesterday, television program last night. If you missed it, shame on you. Kidding. You can always see it on our website. Actually, the place to see, you can go to the homepage on the website, scroll down to the section where there's some posts, and you'll see episode 2 of Huff, or you can go to community.toddhuffshow.com and just click on TV, and we're currently posting episodes there. That was episode 2, and anyway, it's a lot of fun, and good to be here this morning as well. So I want to start. In fact, I might do something today on this program that we don't normally do. I don't know if you've seen this doctor who addresses, this is in Indiana, by the way, Mount Vernon Community School Corporation. That's a school board meeting, and a doctor addresses the school board talking about the foolishness, the fallacies in their approach to combating COVID-19 in the school corporation. And so he stands up there. He gets apparently 5 minutes. It's about a 6-minute speech. But it's, as I was listening to this, and I've listened several times, it's just packed with a lot of information. He's talking quickly. He's trying to address concerns of the school board. And he does it in a very, a direct way. He clearly is standing against what this board is considering and what they're looking at doing. Who knows what's even next? By the way, did you see Fauci? You got to love this. Fauci out there yesterday maybe talking about the long-term impact on masks and children. Fauci says hopefully, he hopes. I love this, by the way. Fauci hopes. Hopefully making young kids wear masks won't have a lasting negative impact. We hope. Oh, my goodness. We hope. Is that following the science, by the way? Is that what following the science looks like? Fauci's hope? I mean, we're almost to that point. Thank you, Oz. Oz brought me some hot beverages here this morning. The voice is better, but still got to be careful until we're completely out of the woods with whatever's attacking my vocals here. But anyhow, hoping. Fauci's hope. Some people probably would say that that's science. Fauci, that is the science on the long-term effects of children wearing masks. Hopefully it's okay, says Dr. Fauci. Yeah, throw them on. Throw those masks on. Cram those kids in those. We've got studies that show some very dirty and dangerous things on masks. Just shove those on your kid's face. Strap them on there. Nothing to be worried about because COVID. And look, oh my goodness. You can be concerned and wise and whatever. Look at ways to prevent the spread of COVID. But again, at the end of the day, folks, we are dealing with a virus, a microscopic virus, and this doctor talks about that. So Fauci's out there hoping, fingers crossed, that masks don't have any long-term implications on children or, for that matter, anybody else. Meanwhile, that's what we're supposed to believe following the science is. But meanwhile, we've got this doctor who approaches the Mount Vernon Community School Corporation, the board. And there's a lot of things to pull out here. Number one, if you are, I know that there are doctors who listen to this program. I've talked to some of you. If you are a doctor, if you are someone who's a trained medical professional, I encourage you. I know that this is intimidating. I know it. I know in today's world, of just everything is political. There's arguably at this point in time nothing more political than COVID. We've got Jim Acosta out there with a cute little bit last night. I think it was last night on his program, doing his best impersonation of Alyssa Milano. That's right. I think I heard it from her first. TikTok. I found this I'm not browsing TikTok, but I found this on Twitter. It was a TikTok video of Alyssa Milano saying the same thing Jim Acosta said. So maybe she's back there in the CNN, production meetings, coming up with ideas for Jim Acosta. That's what I think is going on here. But anyway, got that going on. They're wanting to name different variants after Republican governors. All this stuff happening. So I know it's a political situation, but if you're a medical professional, and look, it's important for schools to hear from people who have that want to actually follow science that is not directed by politics. Now, I don't pretend to know everything about this. I clearly that's not the case. But there is definitely some research and some scientific findings out there about coronavirus, about masks. I found it. I'm just your lovable talk show host here, folks. I'm just a guy with a microphone and some opinions and some things that I've thought about and, studied for 20 years, but not specifically COVID. Those of you in the medical profession who deal with this, who treat patients, this blueprint of this doctor going before the school board, I commend him, and I humbly encourage you to consider doing the same thing in your local school board. I know the ramifications of that. I know that there will be negatives that come from that. But if you believe that the direction we're going in schools again started to look at heading that direction with masks and maybe, who knows, forced vaccinations for everyone, and if your medical opinion causes you to have doubts that this is the right thing to do, or that this is even going to do anything, like this doctor, what he says here, and I'm actually going to play I'm going to play the whole thing. I've gone back and forth on this, but I think it's worth listening to. I do. I think it's worth listening to, and I commend him for what he did. And I have to believe that within the reach of my voice this morning, or whenever you're listening to this fantastic program, there are doctors, medical professionals who may think some of the same things. And look, there's not a litmus test here, but I'm just telling you what we're doing in many cases. It defies logic. It defies common sense. It defies science. It defies what I remember learning in some of my studies and classes in college and high school about some of these things. I mean, we are literally, in some cases, making this up as we go. I mean, it is insane to me. And I know the political pressures are high, but I encourage folks in your own communities, if you're a medical professional, if your schools are doing things that are not going to make a difference but somehow make everyone feel better, or I don't know, that maybe they actually do put children at risk. You start looking at pushing certain things, whether it's the long-term effects of masks, which Fauci, fingers crossed, hopes aren't going to be harmful to children. I mean, just think about that comment alone, which I've alluded to twice now, but just that, it's beyond my ability to comprehend sometimes what we allow the people, the Faucis of the world, to get away with. Meanwhile, the other side, who has good arguments, are sometimes or I guess too afraid or intimidated, or maybe they're just not public people. I don't know. They just want to keep these things quiet. It's not really my place. A lot of conservatives are like that. I understand that. I respect that to a large degree, but at some point, the things we're doing and the direction we're going is so bad. We've already talked about how much in previous programs, how much income students have given up over their lifetime because of our response to COVID. Now you're looking at long-term mask effects. You've got the mental health component, the number of students who have contemplated even suicide because of the social isolation and so forth. You've got all of these unfilled jobs in the workplace because, nobody wants to work because, heck, some people I think are still scared of COVID. Some people want to be able to not work and get these enhanced benefits and so forth. These are all this is fallout from mismanagement of COVID-19. It's a virus. We were not going to stop it from spreading. But in a lot of ways, I just wonder how much of this have we brought on ourselves? How much of this because of behavior, because of policies in schools, because of, on down the line. Where does this stop? What's the real total damage here? And I commend this doctor for what he did. So I wonder, again, I say this with all humility because I respect those in this audience more than you can possibly understand sometimes. But I wonder if someone out there today is a doctor, medical professional that says, look, this stuff is out of control in my school district, or maybe it's in my state. I can't sit by any longer silently and let the only so-called doctors we hear from, those who continue to say the things that push us more into craziness, push us more into an anti-democratic sort of society, to take away liberties and freedom and choice and whatever else, that are just pushing us the wrong direction scientifically. That's not really what the science is saying. For those who actually are consistent in their approach, unlike Dr. Fauci, who has been truly 100% I can't even tell you. I don't know what one thing the guy's been consistent on. I just don't. And you look at what he said about the gain of function research in the Wuhan lab and all of this stuff, and his fights with Rand Paul before the committee. Rand Paul, criminal referral, or just all this stuff that's being said and done out there with COVID-19, and the finger pointing and the animosity in this great nation. And I know that creates some tension and intimidation, but at the same time, I find myself just commending this guy and just having to believe that there's a lot more people that would want to say or would say something similar to their local school boards, to their local communities, to a state, to in front of a state government panel, the State Board of Health or whoever else, National Institute of Health. People need to hear that. I've heard of doctors who have said to folks, hey, I don't agree with what the direction is we're going with this, but those who disagree have been silenced. And I just know that there's a lot of doctors, a lot of medical professionals out there that believe the same thing. So anyway, I'm going to play this guy's talk, or his 5 minutes before the school board. I think it's worth it. I commend him, and we'll do that after the break. So sit tight. You're listening here to Conservative Not Bitter Talk. I'm your host, Todd Huff, back here in just a minute.
Listen to Todd's show on your way to work, but want to hear more? Don't miss a beat. Visit toddhuffshow.com/listen to catch the program anytime, anywhere.
The compassion of Christ. It's living life connecting to the broken and messy world. It's not simply walking down the street and dropping a quarter in someone's bucket. It's been perverted by Satan from biblical compassion to feeling sorry for, and sympathy isn't where God wants us to live. It's connecting to broken people in our daily life, living the compassion of Christ.
Are you tired of manually opening the gate every time you pull in the drive, especially during the freezing cold, pouring rain, or hot, humid weather? Then Gatekeeper Services has your solution. They offer affordable residential and commercial motorized units for your gated properties. Veteran-owned with over 50 years' experience in motorized gate sales and repairs on any make or model, and with numerous entry control options, Gatekeeper Services takes pride being certified in both automated gate system design and operator installation. Simplify your life today by calling 317-714-4061.
Hi, this is Caleb with Gluff Plumbing. Does your home need some plumbing updates? Gluff Plumbing is your solution. We specialize in updating old plumbing, everything from water heaters to well pumps, to underground leaks and everything that has to do with water entering and leaving the home, including water and sewer main excavations. We pride ourselves on old-fashioned customer service. Call Gluff Plumbing at 765-721-6789 or visit gluffplumbing.com. That's GLUFF plumbing.com. Call us today.
Does your business have a plan for social media marketing? Are you reaching the right audiences through Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and the list goes on? Are you learning from the data? Jarbo can help. Our team doesn't just come in and tell you how to be successful. We help you execute and measure your sales and marketing efforts. Give us a call at 317-834-6560 or visit us online at jarbomarketing.com. That's jarbomarketing.com. Make social media work for you.
Were you surprised by your tax return last year? Did you get a large refund? Or worse, did you have to pay more than you thought to the IRS? Or maybe you just got a new job, had a baby, or are going into retirement. Why wait for another tax surprise this year? Let Jody Dowdle with Midwest Tax Group help you project your taxes for the year to save you the stress come tax time. 317-288-5260. Jody and his team will analyze your paychecks to see if you're withholding too much or too little and help make corrections to any W-4s. If you're the sole proprietor of a business, this is a great idea for you to prepare for your tax filing. Midwest Tax Group has 4 office locations in Castleton, Greenwood, Plainfield, and their new location in Greenfield. Schedule your appointment today at 317-288-5260. And don't wait. The sooner you act, the more prepared you can be for any hidden tax surprises. That's 317-288-5260 or visit their website at mwtaxgroup.com.
If you're thinking of buying or selling a home, call my good friend Scott Veerkamp. Scott and his team have been helping people with their real estate needs since 1992, and he has sold literally thousands of homes for good families just like yours. For all your real estate needs, call Scott Veerkamp today at 317-979-4663. That's 979-HOME.
Have you seen the price of custom cabinetry and countertops lately? If you're looking for quality, affordable remodels, call Carriage House Woodworking. Our helpful professionals will walk you through every step of the process. We're offering a free sink base with qualifying purchases. Just enter CHWEINC.com/Todd or call 317-406-3042. Call Carriage House Woodworking. You won't have to spend your kids' inheritance just to upgrade your kitchen.
Welcome back, my friends. So, as I said last segment, I am going to do something that I normally don't do. We're going to play a longer sound clip. This is a doctor addressing the Mount Vernon Community School Corporation, which I believe is in Fortville, which is not far from Indianapolis. So I'm going to reserve the right here. I know to the chagrin of some of you, I'm going to reserve the right to jump in here at any moment in time that I see appropriate if I want to clarify or say something. But I'm going to do the best to the best of my ability anyway, I'm going to play this this soundbite. It's about 6 minutes. It's him addressing. It's a doctor. So again, a doctor addressing a school board in regards to what the school system has been doing, is considering doing regarding COVID-19 and how to mitigate that, and all the things, right, that are happening and being taken under consideration there, as they are in any school district around the country. So here he is addressing this school board, and I just want you to listen to this.
To address your comment, it's hard to believe we're 18 months into this and still having a problem, and I would suggest the reason we still have a problem is because we're doing things that are not useful, and we're getting our sources of information from the Indiana State Board of Health and the CDC, who actually don't bother to read science before they do this. I'm actually a functional family medicine physician. That means I am specially trained in immunology and inflammation regulation, and everything being recommended by the CDC and the State Board of Health is actually contrary to all the rules of science. So things you should know about coronavirus and all other respiratory viruses: they are spread by aerosol particles, which are small enough to go through every mask. By the way, the literature that supports all of that is in a flash drive that we presented to you. It's been given to the Secretary. As a matter of fact, it quotes at least 3 studies sponsored by the NIH to that exact fact, even though the CDC and the NIH have chosen to ignore the very science that they paid to have done. That is why you keep struggling with this, is because you cannot make these viruses go away. The natural history of all respiratory viruses is that they circulate all year long, waiting for the immune system to get sick through the winter or become deranged, as has happened recently with these vaccines, and then they cause symptomatic disease. Because they cannot be filtered out, and they have animal reservoirs, and this is a very important point, no one can make this virus go away. The CDC has managed to convince everybody that we can handle this like we did smallpox, where we could make a virus go away. Smallpox had no animal reservoirs. The only thing it learned to infect was humans. That's why we were able to make that virus go away. That will not happen with this any more than it will with influenza, the common cold, respiratory syncytial virus, adenoviral respiratory syndromes, or anything else that has animal reservoirs. So the reason you can't do this is because you're trying to do something which has already been tried and can't be done. Equally important is that vaccination changes none of this, especially with this vaccine. And I would hope this board would start asking itself, before it considers taking the advice of the CDC, the NIH, and the State Board of Health, why we are doing things about this that we didn't do for the common cold, influenza, or respiratory syncytial virus. And then ask yourself, why is a vaccine that is supposedly so effective having a breakout in the middle of the summer when respiratory viral syndromes don't do that? And to help you understand that, you need to know the condition that is called antibody-mediated viral enhancement. That is a condition done when vaccines work wrong, as they did in every coronavirus study done in animals on coronaviruses after the SARS outbreak, and done in respiratory syncytial virus, where a vaccine used in a vulnerable individual done the wrong way, which cannot be done right for a respiratory virus which has a very low pathogenicity rate, causes the immune system to actually fight the virus wrong and let the virus become worse than it would with native infection. And that is why you are seeing an outbreak right now. In fact, in that flash drive you're going to have coming to you and in the emails with 6 Extra will be a study showing that 75% of people who had COVID-19 positive symptom cases in Barnstable, Massachusetts outbreak were fully vaccinated.
Okay, so we're about halfway through this. So I fought the urge to jump in a couple of times already, but there's a lot here, right? I know in a sense he's clearly has read a lot about this, has seen the studies, this is his area of expertise, this is his language, and you can tell it's just flowing naturally from his lips as he's addressing this. And a lot of things he's addressed. He's addressed the vaccine. He's addressed the nature of coronaviruses. He's compared and contrasted coronavirus with smallpox, which he says smallpox was able to be eradicated through a vaccine because there were no animal reservoirs. It just spread person to person, and so we were able to identify it, isolate it, and figure out how to treat it, and suddenly, poof, it's off the radar. It doesn't really and truthfully exist anymore. You don't catch smallpox. We effectively eradicated it. So you can't do that with coronaviruses because they have animal reservoirs, and they're continually, I guess, mutating and changing because of that. I'm not the doctor here, but that's presumably what's happening. And so these viruses, in the way that vaccines address them is just simply, it's a different animal, so to speak. So he's trying to give this board, he's also talked about masks. He talked about the size of the virus and how the virus spreads through aerosol particles floating around in the air, and that the virus itself is much smaller than the size of the hole in a mask, any mask whatsoever. He references mask studies and how masks are ineffective against things like coronaviruses. I know that we've talked about it on here, the studies done about the flu virus and masks, and those studies that were conducted showed that there were, we looked at 6, 7, 8, I forget how many there were, somewhere half dozen or so, maybe as many as 8, all showed that with the flu virus, and this was all done prior to the coronavirus pandemic, outbreak, whatever we want to call this now. These studies were done before that, and was with with the flu virus. But all of those studies indicated that wearing a mask made no statistical difference or not. In fact, one of the studies showed that wearing a mask actually increased the person's ability, or I guess likelihood, to transmit or to get the virus, because they were fidgeting with their mask and presumably had virus on their hands or whatever, and then that was the method by which the virus entered in through the nose or whatever, through the mouth. So this is what he's alluding to. I just wanted to break that up because I know there's a lot there, and we're about halfway through it. So timeout is in order. We'll come back and I'll play the rest of his speech, if you will, his address before this local school board body here in Central Indiana. We'll do that after the break. By the way, program is brought to you in part by our friends at Economy Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing. You can find out more by visiting their website, economyheatingandair.com. That's economyheatingandair.com. Or call them, 317-831-5279, 317-831-5279. Quick timeout, back here in just a minute.
Had enough of the cancel culture? Why not fight back by directly supporting the advertisers who make this program possible? Visit supportouradvertisers.com to give those who help bring this program to you the opportunity to earn your business. Find out more about businesses like Ward's Apparel, Edwards Equipment, and Indiana Wooded Paradise Retreat by visiting supportouradvertisers.com today.
All your life, you've planned and taken care of the people you love. They always knew you had a plan. Taking care of your final wishes will give them one final gift. Buying your headstones direct through Thomas Monument saves your loved ones additional stress during a difficult time and saves money by cutting out the middleman. Call 317-244-6525 or go online to thomasmonument.com to understand why families have trusted us since 1962.
Hey Indy, Sid here with Kill a Dent Removal. We specialize in a paint-free repair process known as PDR. Our certified master technicians remove dents and dings of all shapes and with zero body fillers, zero painting, and zero diminished value. Most repairs are completed the same day, many even while you wait. Check us out at killadentremoval.com. And remember, folks, don't paint your car, go PDR.
When life is hard for the women you care about, there is help with issues such as widowhood, anxiety, depression, or abuse. They don't have to go through it alone. Peace Restored is there to walk with women through the journey. Peace Restored helps women through free mentoring, counseling, and education. When life is hard, Peace Restored is there to help women you care about find hope and healing. To learn more, visit peacerestored.net.
Geothermal tax credits are back, making this the perfect time to install a new Climate Master geothermal system. Take advantage of this limited time 26% tax credit and begin cutting your heating and cooling bills immediately. Visit indianageothermal.com/info to get your free Climate Master information kit or call 317-829-1490. Visit indianageothermal.com/info or call 317-829-1490. Geothermal, it's cheaper than you think.
All right, here we go. $100 down, $200
I went to my first firearms auction a few years ago. It was hosted by TJ Freege, one of my good friends from high school, who is a champion auctioneer and one of the best in the business. In spite of objections from liberal legislators, I walked away with a .22 rifle and a few boxes of ammunition. And I had a great afternoon with my grandpa that I won't soon forget. If you've ever wondered what treasure you could find in an auction, visit FreegeAuctioneers.com and take a look at their upcoming Central Indiana auction schedule. That's Freege, F-R-E-I-J-E, auctioneers.com. Visit FreegeAuctioneers.com.
Hi, I'm TJ Freege, owner and lead auctioneer at Freege & Freege Auctions and Marketing. I invite you to come see the power of live auctions. It's fast, it's fun, it's transparent, and it's the absolute best way to ensure you get fair market value for your asset today. Get results, go auction.
Fireplaces can be beautiful and even essential in heating some homes. But did you know they could be dangerous to your family if not properly maintained? Chimneys need to be cleaned and inspected annually. My family and I had Smalling Masonry inspect ours. They are friendly, informative, on time, and helped us use our wood-burning stove more efficiently. Call Christian-owned Smalling Masonry today at 317-903-8121 and mention my name, Todd Huff, for a 15% off chimney inspection and sweep.
Our word can't be diluted because we are taught that a promise is a commitment in which you always follow through. No ifs, ands, or buts. So every time you walk through Greg Hubler Chevrolet doors, you can count on the advice and expertise we provide you. Because when we make a promise, we keep it. Greg Hubler Chevrolet. Promise kept. Visit GregHublerChevy.com. Find new roads.
So, been playing this exchange, or I guess this address of a physician, doctor, as it pertains to coronavirus procedures or policies, I guess, in his local school district, which is Mount Vernon Community School Corporation, which is just outside of Indianapolis. It's in the metro area, as I believe. I believe it's in Fortville. Correct me if I'm wrong. So here he is. We played the first half last segment. Here he is again addressing this body, trying to help them to navigate and to stop instituting policies that are not going to make any difference, that may have other long-term ramifications. Again, Dr. Fauci is now on record that says hopefully, he's hoping, fingers crossed here, very scientific approach, fingers crossed on whether or not masks have long-term impacts, negative impacts on children, or for that matter, I guess anybody. But here we go. This is picking up where we left off with the doctor addressing the school board.
Therefore, there is no reason for treating any person vaccinated any differently than any person unvaccinated. You should also know that no vaccine, even the ones I support and would give to myself and my children, ever stops infection. In 2014, there was outbreak of mumps in the National Hockey League. The only people who came down with symptoms were the people who were unvaccinated or unknown vaccine status. Boy, that sounds like a great argument for vaccines. But a question that you should ask yourself, knowing that half of the people who came down with symptomatic disease had no contact with an unvaccinated or unknown vaccine status individual, where did they get the disease? And the answer was from the vaccinated individuals. No vaccine prevents you from getting infection. You get infected, you shed pathogen. This is especially true of viral respiratory pathogens. You just don't get symptomatic from it. So you cannot stop spread. You cannot make these numbers that you've planned on get better by doing any of the things you're doing, because that is the nature of viral respiratory pathogens. And you can't prevent it with a vaccine because they don't do the very thing you're wanting them to do. And you will be chasing this the remainder of your life until you recognize that the Center for Disease Control and the Indiana State Board of Health are giving you very bad scientific guidance. And instead, read the articles that are going to come on the email and are on this flash drive, and listen to the people in this audience here tonight who actually have recognized the advice they are getting from the CDC and the NIH is counterfactual. And that's why you're still fighting this with this vaccine that supposedly was going to make all of this go away, but has suddenly managed to make an outbreak of COVID-19 develop in the middle of the summer when vitamin D levels are at their highest. By the way, the other thing that would be necessary for any vaccine restriction to be considered is if there were no other treatment available. And I can tell you, having treated over 15 COVID-19 patients, that between active loading with vitamin D, ivermectin, and zinc, that there is not a single person who has come anywhere near the hospital. And we already have studies that show that if you achieve a 25 hydroxy-vitamin D level greater than 55, your risk of COVID-19 death will drop down to 1/4 of the population average for the United States. And there are active treatment trials included on that flash drive that show the same is true. So if you were going to discriminate based upon vaccine, you should also discriminate based upon 25 hydroxy-vitamin D level, zinc taste test response, and probably previous infection, since there are also studies on that flash drive that show that people who have recovered from COVID-19 infection actually get no benefit from vaccination at all, no reduction in symptoms, no reduction in hospitalization, and suffer 2 to 4 times the rate of side effects if they are subsequently vaccinated. Therefore, the policies that you are basing on are totally counterfactual. I don't blame this board for that, because I know you aren't scientists and you've thought it was reasonable to listen to the CDC, NIH, and the Indiana State Board of Health. But I would encourage that instead you listen to the people out here in this audience and read what's on that data drive. And if anybody here in this board has any questions about anything on that, I will happily come back and sit with you individually if you would like to explain the science behind this. And if you're worried about being sued by somebody because you don't follow the guidance of the CDC and the NIH, I will tell you have a free pro bono expert testimony at your disposal. I will testify in defense of this court, turning down all these recommendations for free at any time in any court. Thank you.
Thank you.
There you go. So, a lot packed in there. I liked how he ended that as well, which is, look, hey, if you want to stop following the advice of the CDC or Indiana State Department of Health or whatever it's officially called, if you want to stop doing that, if you're worried about a lawsuit, he says, I will, right now on the record of your meeting, I am volunteering to testify on your behalf before any court at any time, anywhere, without any charge whatsoever to you, because this needs to be dealt with. Now, look, there's some out there that may disagree with this doctor, okay, but I will say this. People that are saying the things he's saying are at a major disadvantage in the overall debate because they are not allowed to talk. They are not allowed to share their opinions. Facebook, I'm sure at some point in time, this was shared with me on Facebook yesterday, and I want to thank John for sharing that with me. But would it surprise you if this was taken off of Facebook? I mean, even today, I don't know. But this is the sort of thing that's not allowed to be said. You're not allowed to raise questions. And because of that, and because of the political pressures, a lot of these medical professionals who share these opinions, this perspective, or something similar to this are silenced. And ask yourself, even if you don't agree with what he was saying, if you don't think that's what the science says or whatever the case may be, why should he not be able to make that case? He obviously is basing his perspective on scientific studies and findings. I mean, it's remarkable to me how there's no room for discussion on what scientific research says. I mean, there is an interpretation factor, right? In any research, I have to interpret what I am looking at. And two people could look at the same research and have different interpretations. Now, over time, you can challenge and you can typically, not always, but you can in many cases, prove or disprove one of the other's interpretations or hypotheses, if you will. Sometimes it's not even that easy, especially when you're looking at, say, climate change science, the climate science. Of course, we have this report from the UN, which basically says it's too late. There's really nothing we can do besides change our behaviors, blame America, and tax the living daylights out of every breathing American or person from a prosperous country in hopes that we can somehow mitigate the impending doom and disaster that's been unleashed upon the world because of prosperous countries, people who use the internal combustion engine and jets and all sorts of things. We've destroyed the planet. We're killing people. I don't know if I referenced it yesterday. I meant to. The study that I literally said, and I got this, I don't have it pulled up here, but I looked at it again yesterday. For every 3 Americans, there's one death to climate change. What in the world? Does anyone in their right minds believe that? That is insane to even suggest, but that's what, quote unquote, the research shows. And see, when the research makes bold claims like that, I mean, outrageous. That's ridiculously stupid. If that is what the quote unquote research says, we surely should understand that an interpretation is involved in that. So there you have it. But I commend this doctor, and I commend others, and his just happened to go viral. I'm sure this has happened in other school board meetings, other governmental proceedings and so forth around the country. And I admire those and respect those that stand up. This ultimately, there's a lot of things that need to be done for Americans to regain control of their government at all levels. And this is one of those things. It's very important. It's very important. And if you're a medical professional and have been inspired by what this doctor said and did, I encourage you to consider, maybe doing something similar. He did it respectfully. There wasn't a dumpster fire created afterwards. I mean, there's passion in his voice, but he did it in a way that he communicated, he respected those on the board, and it can be done. It really can be done. And so I commend him and encourage others in this audience. And some folks are actively engaged in multiple ways in their communities already. But for those who may not, whether you're a doctor or not, don't be afraid to attend these meetings, to share your opinion. There's a lot of people who are the hornet's nest, in a sense, has been stirred here over the course of the past several years because of government and what government is doing in the lives of everyday average American citizens. A quick timeout is in order here. You're listening to Conservative Not Bitter Talk. I'm your host, Todd Huff, back here in just a minute.
Looking to make a conservative, not bitter fashion statement? Check out our apparel online, including brand new items at toddhuffshow.com/shop today.
Are you looking for reliable advice on real estate investing? Then you should start listening to the Homeboys. Clint and Scott have over 40 years of real estate investing experience that they use to educate and guide their listeners. Listen and learn from their experiences to maximize your real estate investment strategy. You can find the Homeboys podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or watch them on YouTube. That's the Homeboys podcast. They can show you how to get started and reach your real estate investment goals. Has it been a while since your last eye checkup? Has your eyesight changed? At Best Insight Eye Care, they keep an eye on your vision. Their doctors use the most advanced technology and eye care products available. At Best Insight, you will find professionals who genuinely care about you and are dedicated to providing exceptional service. Mention this ad for 10% off your glasses purchase. Schedule your appointment at the Southeast Side, Indianapolis, or New Palestine locations by visiting bestinsighteyecare.com or calling 317-782-4000 to get the best insight.
Let's face it, moving is stressful. That's why Jones Movers, a family-owned business for over 40 years, is here to help. Our team is ready to help and respond quickly to your questions. We can handle local and out-of-state moves, which means we can move your items to wherever your pin drops on the map. We also offer self-storage units for furniture and items you need a place for. Go to jonesmovers.com to get things moving today, or visit our Facebook page, Jones Movers.
Quality glass windows and doors add value to your home or commercial space. At White's Innovative Glass, our family-owned and operated company will work with you to ensure we understand your vision before we begin. And if you don't have a vision, we can help with that too. We proudly stand behind our work and look forward to your call. Right now, we're offering 15% off your next project. Visit our website at whitesinnovativeglass.com/Todd.
Are your health insurance premiums making you sick? There is a cure. With the Pro-Life Health Plan, your savings could be as much as 60%. The Pro-Life Health Plan allows you to enjoy the freedom of choosing any doctor, any hospital, anywhere. And their enrollment is open year-round. Just give Eric a call at 888-448-5370 or visit them online at isellhealth.com. Better coverage at a better cost.
Remember how hot it was last summer? I was sweating our AC bills, so we replaced our system. We took advantage of Commercial Services' 72-month special financing. We have no interest after we pay in full within 72 months. No more embarrassing sweaty t-shirts. So if you want commercial-grade service for your home, give Commercial Service a call today.
Subject to credit approval. Call Commercial Service for details at 812-339-9114 or online at commercialservice.com.
Family owned since 1973, Edwards Equipment at 1375 East Main Street in Danville is ready to meet your equipment needs by selling, renting, and servicing several makes and models of lightweight residential or heavy-duty commercial equipment. We carry and service top-name brands like Ferris, Kubota, Steel, Gravely, Honda Power, Land Pride, and more. Visit edwardstractor.com or call 317-745-6427 to check out our clearance specials today. At Edwards Equipment, we don't just sell you any piece of equipment, we sell you the right piece of equipment.
Welcome back. Just saw this during the break. I had not seen this before. And yes, I just don't have time to get to Jim Acosta out there. Maybe I just don't have time. Maybe do that tomorrow. But here's a headline for you. This is in the Epic Times. Companies now deducting $50 from unvaccinated workers' monthly paychecks. That's according to a consultancy firm. Some employers, I'm reading here from this article at the Epic Times, are starting to tack on a $20 to $50 monthly surcharge to their unvaccinated workers, according to a health benefits consultant group. Employers have tried encouraging employees to get vaccinated through offering incentives like paid time off and cash, but with the Delta variant driving up infections and hospitalizations throughout the country, at the same time that vaccination rates have stalled, we have received inquiries from at least 20 employers over the past few weeks who are giving consideration to adding health coverage surcharges for the unvaccinated as a way to drive up vaccination rates in their workforce. Wade Simmons with consultancy group Mercer told Forbes magazine back on August 8th. He didn't disclose the names of the firms that are working to add surcharges to workers who haven't received COVID-19 vaccines. So there you go. You're now... Can you imagine if we did this for anything else? Can you imagine? Well, Todd, but it's not killing people. Okay. At some point, it's just... I don't even know what to say at some particular point here. This is where we are, and this has become the political path, and the certain people in the scientific community are out there, carrying. It's the same thing with this United Nations climate report. It just falls, right in line with what one group of politicians wants to see done in this country, or in the case of the UN, around the world. Long in this segment. Got to take a break. Back in just a minute.
Had enough of the cancel culture? Why not fight back by directly supporting the advertisers who make this program possible? Visit supportouradvertisers.com to give those who help bring this program to you the opportunity to earn your business. Find out more about businesses like Gray Brothers Cafeteria, R&R Products, and Reformation by supporting supportouradvertisers.com today.
Are you concerned about your investments? Intrepid Financial has been educating, customizing, and servicing Hoosier investment portfolios since 1998. Our family-owned and operated business builds strong bonds with our clients. When you call, we answer the phone, always ready to walk you through your investment strategy. Intrepid means without fear. We want our clients to be fearless, to feel secure with their investments. Give us a call at 317-818-1776 or visit us online at intrepidfinancial.com.
Weddings, reunions, business, church, or family retreats. Indiana Paradise Retreat is a hidden gem located right here in central Indiana. With over 11,000 square feet, a theater, gym, sauna, hot tub, pool, stocked lakes, and even an on-site event hangar, we have just the place for your next event. Find us on Airbnb, VRBO, or just search for Indiana Paradise Retreat. We look forward to seeing you soon.
Our sense of smell stimulates memory and emotion. A scent can seemingly transport us to another place in time. Homemade, hand-poured candles and melts from spur-of-the-moment creations will give your nose the experience the rest of your body is missing during any season of the year. Crackling firewood, fresh-cut grass, Macintosh apple, and even racing fuel are some of their over 200 engaging fragrances. Visit spurofthemomentcreations.com and enter coupon code TODD at checkout to receive 15% off your order today.
Stop by the Canby Smoke Shop. Our new store location at 8411 Windfall Lane in Canby has a wide selection of tobacco, hookahs, glass, vape, and vape juice. If you mention Todd's name, we'll give you 10% off on your first purchase. Until the end of August, we have a special on disposable vapes that is buy one, get one free. We look forward to serving you. That's the Canby Smoke Shop. Great pricing, great selection.
Are you looking to purchase waterproof flooring for your home? Did you know it's as easy as typing rnrproducts.com/Todd in your search engine for a great deal on our core tech line? Since 1971, R&R Products has provided brand name products at an affordable price to the listening area. Call 317-745-5794 or go online to rnrproducts.com/Todd. R&R Products. We make your flooring experience easy and affordable.
There is plenty to worry about these days. If you're working with Blake Hornsby at Northwestern Mutual, your retirement and financial security doesn't need to be one of them. Blake is a time-tested financial advisor with over 20 years of experience at Northwestern Mutual. For an independent review of your financial planning needs, call Blake and mention the Todd Huff Show for a free initial consultation. Call 317-215-8322 or visit blakehornsby.com. Invest in your peace of mind with Blake Hornsby at Northwestern Mutual.
This is the sound of your typical do-it-yourselfer in completely over his head.
For heating, plumbing,
and electrical done right.
Call Mr. Quick. Call Mr. Quick. Dial the number, spell the words. For on time.
Welcome back. So it's all the time. Again, I wish I had time to get to Jim Acosta, and maybe we'll do this tomorrow. But Jim Acosta out there copying Alyssa Milano, in basically saying when there's a new outbreak, we need to name it after Republican governors, like the DeSantis variant and the Abbott variant. I mean, this is why yesterday trending on social media was the Obama variant. Obama's hosting that big birthday bash. I've got Fox News playing in the background here showing other Democrat politicians holding hands, dancing in circles, maskless. I mean, it's just remarkable, the hypocrisy on this, and it's no wonder why people can't take some of this stuff seriously. But anyway, out of time. Music telling me it's time to wrap up for the day. Thanks for listening. SDG. See you tomorrow. Take care.
As a listener of this program, I have no doubt that you embrace the value of hard work, honesty, and integrity. And when you have the opportunity to work with a company that fully embraces and shares these values, I'm sure you jump at it. Economy Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing is just that type of company in Central Indiana. Jeff and Jod Woods have a team of professional technicians here to help tune up your furnace or install a quality new train system. And they're also here to fix those nasty plumbing problems that seem to happen at the absolute worst time. So the next time you have a plumbing, heating, or cooling need, give the good folks at Economy Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing a call. Call 317-831-5279. That's 317-831-5279. Or visit economyheatingandair.com.
Need to refresh or renovate your commercial space? Call Interior Construction Services today, providing the highest level of quality construction at a competitive price. Our service-minded team is here to deliver the detail-oriented environment you're looking to create, on time and on budget. Call us at 317-991-4660 or visit us online at interiorconstruct.com. Interior Construction Services. Progressive, productive, professional.
Unhappy with your CPAP machine? Now you have an alternative. The docs at Indy Dental Sleep have an oral appliance that treats snoring and sleep apnea. They begin with an in-home sleep test that is diagnosed by a sleep physician before prescribing your appliance. And it's covered by most medical insurance plans. It's preferred 20-1 versus CPAP. Call 317-888-4036 and start getting the sleep you need. Or visit IndyDentalSleep.com.